Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rucha Kodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Judges, the 12th chapter. And as we went through in the 11th chapter, the Lord gives Jephthah the victory against the Ammonites, but at the cost of his daughter's life, as he vows a vow that ends up costing him his daughter, who he has to sacrifice to the Lord. And the men of Ephraim gathered themselves together and went northward, and said unto Jephthah, Wherefore passest thou over to fight against the children of Ammon, and didst not call us to go with thee? We will burn thine house upon thee with fire. So they came against Jephthah, saying, Why did you go to fight against the Ammonites, and you didn't call us to come and join and fight with you? So as a result, you left us out, so we're gonna burn your house with you. And Jephthah said unto them, I and my people were at great strife with the children of Ammon. And when I called you, ye delivered me not out of their hands. So when we asked you for help, you ain't do shit. And when I saw that ye delivered me not, I put my life in my hands, meaning I risked my life, and passed over against the children of Ammon, and the Lord Yahweh delivered them into my hand. Wherefore then are ye come up unto me this day to fight against me? So where the hell you coming from trying to pick a fight, talking about we didn't call you and so on and so forth? You didn't do anything to help us. Then, and you can see Ephraim had this this habit over here. Then Jephthah gathered together all the men of Gilead and fought with Ephraim. And the men of Gilead smote Ephraim because they said, Ye Gileadites are refugees, or fugitives of Ephraim among the Ephraimites and among the Manassites. So they basically try to cast the family of the Gileadites to the side, as though y'all are just like it says, fugitives among us. You ain't real, true, tried Ephraimites or Manassites. So they went to war. They fought one against another, and those on Jephthah's side got the upper hand, i.e. the Gileadites. And the Gileadites took the passages of Jordan before the Ephraimites. So let me see. I think it might be somewhere down along the lines here. But they basically took control of the routes that you would be able to cross through Jordan before the Ephraimites, and it and it was so that when those Ephraimites which were escaped said, Let me go over, that the men of Gilead said unto him. So they basically gained control like a checkpoint, and any Ephraimites that would try to cross over to go to the other side of Jordan to escape, they got there, and they basically try to cross over. The men of Gilead would ask them, and this was like the check. They would ask them, Art thou an Ephraimite? And if he said nay, if he tried to deny it, then the way they would prove it was they would say, right, then said they unto him, Say now Shibboleth. And he said Siboleth, for he could not frame to pronounce it right. Then they took him and slew him at the passages of Jordan, and there fell at that time of the Ephraimites 42,000. Now, even till today, right, you have like some of the northern kingdom of the northern tribes that, like, there's some English words that they can't pronounce, right? So it sounds different, and you can tell, like, with a quote unquote Spanish accent, when they say certain words, you're like, oh yeah, like that's like, you can tell that they're either like Puerto Rican or Dominican or something like that, right? Now, I try to find a video that might exemplify this, but the closest I could find was this Instagram clip where today they turn everything into a joke or whatnot. But basically, you have this guy that has like Latinos, right? Basically, the northern tribe try to pronounce. In this video, it was different universities try to pronounce their names, and you can tell by the way they pronounce it. Obviously, like, there's certain words that they can't frame, as, like, let's say a fluent English speaker can. And that's where I guess the humor or the comedy of this channel or whatnot comes from. But the point in playing this is to exemplify and show you like a modern day example of it. Not really for laughs, but if it humors you, well, there's that too. So I'm gonna play this real quick, and then we'll go back to the scripture, just so you see an example of it.
Y está aquí. Esos son bien. Howard University. Oh, that was close. Okay, está aquí. Better House College. North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. Norfolk University. Wilson State University.
So there you can see, right? It's like he's trying to pronounce the names, but clearly you can tell that it's he's not able to frame it exactly like it's pronounced in English. So when you go back to Judges 12, this was how they would tell that you're an Ephraimite, because of the way you would pronounce that word, shibboleth. They couldn't frame, as it says, to pronounce she. So they would say si, and they would say, yeah, he's an Ephraimite, kill him. Now, when you speak, like almost every part of your mouth is being used. Your tongue, especially your teeth, your lips, right? All of these things are being used, the roof of your mouth. For example, when you can't say the word left without your tongue touching the roof of your mouth. Right, that that L sound, your tongue has to actually touch the roof of your mouth to make that sound. If you try to keep your tongue down at the bottom of your mouth and try to say left, it won't sound like you're saying left. Similarly, if you try to say right, your tongue has to curl upward towards the roof of your mouth. If you want to frame it to say r, that r or that r sound comes from your tongue curling upward to be able to cause that sound. So that's what it means by framing, right? Your mouth, you have to frame the words a certain way by the different movements of your tongue or your mouth or your teeth and so on. So, this was like a way that they could tell, because that's one thing that you couldn't avoid, right? You couldn't escape that, at least in this setting here. So they use that as a means to find the Ephraimites who were trying to escape and slew them. Verse 7, and Jephthah judged Israel 6 years. Then died Jephthah the Gileadite, and was buried in one of the cities of Gilead. And after him Ibzan of Bethlehem judged Israel, and he had 30 sons and 30 daughters, whom he sent abroad. So basically he ended up having his sons marry out, basically kind of out of his family, and likewise his daughters, as it's going to say, and took in 30 daughters from abroad for his sons. And he judged Israel 7 years. So probably like other tribes, outside of his is where he married them off to. Then died Ibzan, and was buried at Bethlehem. And after him Elon, a Zebulunite, judged Israel, and he judged Israel 10 years. And Elon the Zebulunite died, and was buried in Aijalon, in the country of Zebulun. And after him Abdon the son of Hillel, a Parathonite, judged Israel. And he had 40 sons and 30 nephews that rode on 70 ass colts. That's 70 asses. And he judged Israel 8 years. And Abdon the son of Hillel, the Pirathonite, died, and was buried in Pirathon, in the land of Ephraim, in the mount of the Amalekites. And that brings us to the end of Judges, the 12th chapter. And before going ahead, when it says here the mount of the Amalekites, as it says, in the hill country of the Amalekites in Ephraim, the chances are here that you might have had the Amalekites having some portion of that land before we came in there and took it over, because we know that ultimately the actual territory of Edom is more south of Judah. So that brings us to the end of the book of Judges, the 12th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Racha Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.